Good evening, ladies and gents, this is Nerd the Human, and welcome to what I assume is the grand finale of our Ostrogoth Horde-only campaign. And you join us, of course, as the Berber War begins. They've slightly jumped the gun because we're not quite done finishing off the Sassanids yet. They do have Ctesiphon and Damartha left, with one army last I saw floating around the desert here, so quite where or if they'll turn up in time, I don't know. Hopefully they're somewhere off here marching towards these towns, and they'll be wiped out before they get a chance to take any of mine. To be honest, I think they're as good as done at this point. But of course, whilst we are now settled down and not a horde, we do still want to get, our final goal, which is to destroy all the non-horde factions, which at this point is, well, a very not a very well updated map, but is basically the Berbers and the Celts. Everyone else is just the Vandals and the Burgundians, and I think a few Sarmatian towns still just about remain. But essentially we need to make sure they all go down. So today's plan, very much wipe out the Sassanids early doors, take on the Berbers, sweep across northern Africa, and hopefully from there dodge the pirates we might have to kill today as well, and launch ourselves north towards the Celts up in the north. Remember, British of course do have London, so we don't need to worry about that. They are a horde faction, but ultimately, yeah, we might need to look at ourselves and ponder what we do about ourselves, because we're no longer a horde, and that does slightly bother me. So we'll come to that later in the episode. But for now, time to end our turn and see what happens. Interesting, the army outside Damartha has re-emerged and indeed is going to take us on. Now, as I said last time, this army isn't really set up to win this battle, so I don't necessarily fancy our chances, especially after all the routes we saw last time. But we probably could do what we should have done last time, which is a bit of a skirmish and then a withdrawal. So I think that's what we are going to do here today. He's a bit of a basic general, but there are some good experienced cataphracts and Gabinari here to deal with. In fact, yeah, silver chevroned armoured camel riders are nothing to snivel at either. They're pretty darn mean. We did plenty of horses and camels for ourselves though, so we'll have to see how we go with this one. Let's head in. Well, right from the start, we've got some good skirmishing going on. As you can see, a whole unit of Kibinari actually have been taken out, which is good news indeed. Two more cataphracts slowly ambling towards us. Might actually have done enough skirmishing this time that we're okay. They don't have the missile units that we have. So, yeah, just that one unit of Bucellari and that one unit of missile cataphracts that we just took out. So, they're finally turning to face us for a moment there, but not quite teased enough. So I'm quite liking the early skirmish. Get on top of those javelin men, please, as much as possible. You two just run away from them. You should know how to skirmish. Anytime you want to run away, that would be brilliant. Okay, they've given up on that. That's good news. You guys pull out of there. They're starting to rush on in a little bit. Just need to be careful. Our horses are now tearing up the rear of their army. A few levy spearmen are going to catch a few of us out, but mostly we've taken out the Bucellari, the skirmishers, the Kurdish javelin men, those kind of lads. Some cataphracts at the back are hanging around to deal with us, but mostly we're okay. I was sending my camels. I was supposed to send them running, to be honest, but the camels were coming out to one particular flank, just to see if they can help these guys get back into the fray. Make sure they're all off skirmishing. One of them decided to rout, which is just a little bit irritating. These camels, to be honest, can turn around and smash into them. Yeah, looks like they're doing their work at the rear of the army. Right, all the horse archers, get yourselves back into a good covering position. You into there, you into there. Some of them turned around to face the camels. Interesting. The camels should start to smell, which will throw them off. Yeah, there we are. We threw them off the scent with a camel charge. You, my good sir, back in position, you impetuous fiend. We need you all on defense, please. Guard. Good. Right. Camels are largely doing their work. You guys trying to avoid those spearmen. These... Okay, they've... Yeah, that they weren't on skirmish. That was problematic. Okay, well, they're going to run away now. Hopefully not through them, but they are currently running through them. Brilliant work, my good sirs. Brilliant work. One problem you do have the edge of the map is that you get yourself caught out a little bit, which is what's happening to our camels. They've both decided to flee, and they're not fleeing in a particularly helpful manner. No, they're not. You might... What is this formation? They've done some weird things right here. Fine, you guys go at the front then. Why not? You want to be at the front, you can go at the damn front. Right, all of our cav have kind of run away. Most of them are getting chased down. Okay. Right, we're going to get a charge in from these lads. That's fine. You guys war cry. The underutilised war cry of these swordsmen. Straight into battle. Archers are doing their filthy, filthy work. At this point, despite the fact that I plan to retreat, we might actually have them here because I think there's a good chance at this point that we can hold this position. General is in the right kind of a place. You shoot those armoured camel riders. Yeah, okay, we've got a break there. Charge into those lads. You guys get yourselves forward. You run into them. And you actually get out of Shiltram and start moving forward. These guys, yeah, we've broken them as well. This is going to be a tight affair. No, you're supposed to cover that flank, and send the camels in for support. The camels will help break them. Kept one unit back, you out of Shiltram. And, okay, we got them. Running away, all infantry. Over there, deal with that unit. Okay, we might actually be able to finish this off now. Camels are in. General, get over here. In fact, just start pushing them back and back and back and back and back. Okay, camels, charge them down. Charge them down. Charge them down. Infantry, get on top of these lads. I think at this point we just need to send one of you, just these lads back here, just to cover the archers. In fact, we'll make it two. You two get back here and cover them. Like now, actually. Like now, actually. Like really, really now. Okay, they've intercepted. Well done. I think they've got there. Ah, they didn't quite get there. That's so sad. Oh, my archers. My beautiful, beautiful archers. Okay, let's ignore that. That isn't the main thing right now. They are withdrawing by and large. Let's go and smash this Bucellari. That's an easy route. Infantry. Right, we've cleared them off as well. I think we've done it, actually. We didn't even need to properly corner. We did enough skirmish at the start, even if I did muck it up eventually. Raiders, you go and charge at them. You run into those lads. And at this point, honestly, just get on top of those immortals if you can. They're probably way too far gone. But the battle, actually, camels might just be able to do it. These are armoured camels as well. But who knows, we might just be able to get on top of them if we're lucky. It's a tense charge here. We're not quite going to clip them, are we? Just get on top. There we are. If you can just hold them for long enough, camels. Camels, just go on guard. Defend them for long enough. The general is coming to help you. The infantry is on its way. It's not good enough, but they might charge them down. They might follow them. General won't win that battle, though, again. It's just a matter of routing. No, I think he's going to get away, but mostly we've done the work we need to. A surprising victory there. I'm quite pleased about that. We didn't really end up doing too much of the fight in the corner, just the one charge that we held off. And from there, managed to get the counterattack. We did kind of throw away the horses, sadly, as I forgot to re-skirmish mode them as they went into the rear. But we split them up. We divided them enough that they couldn't overwhelm us, which is good work indeed. Well done. Maybe this lad can go far. And the Berbers immediately offering a ceasefire. You know what? I'll take it, because I wouldn't mind, to be honest, having a just a little chill out. Let's buy myself some time before we begin that war. They'll probably just invade next turn anyway. I am trying to reinforce Jerusalem as much as possible, and seeing as I know that army isn't going over towards Philadelphia, I can afford now to send over those archers, which is good news indeed. Okay, we'll just get one horse archer to make sure we can chase down any stragglers when we shoot them from the walls. We are the most advanced faction, which is marvellous. We've only been a settled country for about 10 years, but apparently we are better than the rest already. Marvellous news. Who are you? Oh, we got married. We found him, a lovely, lovely lady of the desert. Good news. He has definitely earned that. He's got a fairly plain set of traits right now. Didn't seem to gain anything from that battle, which is a bit harsh on him, I think. But into Damartha we go. He will be able to take that very, very soon indeed. Oh, some elephants left in Ctesiphon. That's interesting. Mostly, though, it's interesting that we are here with Vedek the Butcher. He needs to be the man who finishes them off. I think it's only fair on that particular front. Now, he was the faction heir, which means this guy's the faction leader. 9% chance. It's just him. It's just him. Okay, well, This lad gets to live in Hatra now because he's not allowed to fight. We know that. Though, we could assassinate their general with this lad. That would be a fun turnaround for him. Okay. I'll tell you what, we'll give him the cavalry. Clearly can't use infantry. He's clearly a terrible, terrible infantry commander. But cavalry? Oh, he knows how to do that. And this guy fancies his chances. I don't blame him. I would as well. But you get the ultimate redemption opportunity here, sir. I know I said Verduk will end it. He'll still take Ctesiphon, and that's the key thing. But, well, in some ways the more key thing is that Athengild gets himself the glory of taking out the last Sassanid king. Let's go. As our horse archers get brutalised by their archers, we seem to have done nothing at all, which is magnificent. The general will eventually arrive. It'll be his job to finish it off along with the camels. We'll see if he can manage to do it, because these horse archers certainly won't. I think there's no doubt that all those camels can win this, but I think he's got to do this himself, damn it. Charge on in, take them out. All the glory for yourself. I'll allow the smaller units to come in and charge on the second follow-up, but blow the horn of destiny, take them out, my good sir. You get to be the damn hero. And for some reason they just stood there. Actually, Mr. Camels, just hold back a moment, see how he does. They've clearly lost some health already. You know, they might be a bit winded. Even with the hit points already down and the tiredness, I think he's still losing this, isn't he? Yeah, I think he is. Alright, you can call in some camels to reinforce. Come on, camels, get in there. Save your general. Everyone in then. Yeah, the battle is a victory. I think at this point, though, yep, it's it. It's over. The Sassanids are gone. It was a camel. They may not have been able to save his soul, but they could save their general's flesh. And onwards they charge, taking out the last of the Sassanid bodyguards. Only to the best. Yes, my good sir, he can retire with honour. Conquered, we conquer. Victory indeed. Unable to move, he's so staggered by that. Yeah, he does have in the pink, in fairness, so in some ways not surprising that he survived. Still an indifferent commander, in spite of squeaky voice narrator man. Apparently that wasn't the end, though. Apparently it wasn't actually the end. Of course, we never actually killed this guy. I built it up to be his moment, but it will not be his moment. Oh well. You know what? It was fun all the same. As we march into Ctesiphon, then, it is a faction destroyed notification for the Huns. I forgot they were still around, but no, their days are finally done. Time to head in then, and I think at this point we lost a man on the elephants. Damn it. Okay, well, we'll get to use the elephants more another time. Don't worry about that. Another burnt city for the butcher. Marvellous news. But most importantly of all is the end of these lads. The pitiful, pitiful end. Into the final battle for the Sassanids then, and they're mainly just getting shot down at the front entrance here. But we are fighting in deep, deep fuchsia pink, and it's been quite a while since I've been able to use that line. If you've, of course, watched my Rebels campaign, you'll know that this lighting is always a good omen. Except on Alexander, where weirdly it broke the game every time we tried to fight a siege in deep, deep fuchsia pink. It was very, very irritating indeed. Actually, I can't recall if it was just sieges or all of the battles. It was deeply saddening, to be honest. But hey-ho, into battle we go then. For some reason, the central ram never did any ramming. But hey-ho, let's not worry about that. Let's just get into battle, shoot them down. Fair play to these immortals, they're doing a pretty darn good job. But Steve here managed to get all the way through to the back. They're over there, my good sir. There we go. Start giving him a poke from behind. And we are slowly managing to break through. Oh, he got conked on the head. Well done, my good sir. That was a beautiful... Oh, he's done it again. Okay, that's just unnecessary. He's, yeah, they're doing a good job of surviving this. In fact, our infantry is really struggling. But there he goes. Down he goes. The last of the Sassanids. The dynasty is over, and at this point I think all infantry, it's time to head forward. We might as well send the rest of you in, get the camels and the general into the party, send them forward. Let's end this thing. There does appear to be a bit of what you might call a mass rout, actually. How have you managed that, my good sirs? Let's get all the cav in then. All the cav, come and join the party. Looks like we're going to have to do this the stupid way then, doesn't it? In with a final cavalry charge. That should be enough to finish off the last of the Sassanids. And, well, they were a formidable foe, but they have been defeated. And with the last Steve there going down, trodden on by a horse, it is a great victory. I probably shouldn't bother to exterminate, but I'm going to do it anyway. And with that, officially, the Sassanids are dead. Beautiful news indeed, my good sir. They don't look all that happy with you, but I'm going to guess they want to hear the words of Jesus Christ. Hopefully, that will make them a little bit happier about their lives, because right now it's not looking all that positive for them. So. I don't really know why I'm sending you out to build watchtowers, but it makes me feel an awful lot happier when I have them. So there we are. That's them defeated. And as for the Berbers, well, they're building forts on the border. They know where I'm headed next. Our friend Athengild has got himself killed in Hatra. He was clearly a better commander than he was a governor, because, yes, he's been killed in riots as he tried to convert the population to Christianity. What a my good sir. I don't think anyone else has managed this. Everyone else has managed to convert their town slowly, or slowly dealing with the conversion problem. Over here, we've pretty much converted them already, you see. He's doing a grand old job. He's doing, anyone who survives in Sinope, well done to them. I mean, my days, it's an absolute hellhole of a place, always rebelling and murdering everyone. But even he hasn't been killed yet, so, oh well. It's always the way. He wasn't destined for this world. In spectacularly positive news, we've actually got a load of our ports free from the rebels at long last. That's mainly because the pirates are all heading immediately over here, because I cleared my blockade at Ephesus and landed over on Crete. Which means, I suspect that we're going to have a few problems with this lad for a bit of time. So we'll build the watchtower. We'll build a couple other watchtowers most likely. We'll just plod all the way across the island and do that. But yes, they've all come to clear out these boats. I think might immediately retreat into port, actually. That would be grand. So at the very least, we're starting to get some money rolling at long last, because the rebels are causing the problems there. So I think it's probably time, a little bit of money in the kitty, to start doing the boat thing. Yep, it's time to be boat king. So we'll finish that one horse over there. We are, though, trying to get ready for the Berber invasion, but they seem to have lost the city of Ostrogoth to the rebels, which is quite amusing. They don't seem bothered about taking it back. So I guess we've got Ostrogoth to take back at some point before too long. Interesting, that one, interesting. Jerusalem will continue. These guys will probably continue to train up the troops for the invasion, but as for the rest of this, no. We need some boats, so I spent all my money on boats. Okay, well, we're getting some boats out. That's important. I was expecting to tell you all about my war in Egypt, the Berbers currently besieging Ostrogoth, but no, that's not where we are. We're indeed at war with the Burgundians now. I did anticipate this. I have an army on the bridge ready and waiting for them, but of course this tiny border here means that I have to go and ruin everything. So we're unfortunately going to have to take out some of these lots with a lot more experience than we are. Nonetheless, I think we'll be fine. We've got a bridge and we've got all the archers that we could ever ask for. We're actually allied with the Huns these days. You can see here the map information has been filled out, and well, it was a bit like a World War I situation. If we have two huge empires opposing each other, then there will never be war. There's a massive war between these two peoples, and now I've joined in, so time for more bloodshed. Ridiculous. As you can probably imagine, we're going to shower them with arrows. We've got the better archers, we've got more archers, and indeed they've got mostly dead archers. And as for the rest of their army, they do need to get themselves into position. So these lads over here, we do need these guys to shoot over here, so please make sure you are doing that, because we have a few less forces over on this side. They can't currently reach, but these guys are the only ones who can cross the water, unfortunately, to hire a load of mercs, because I didn't really have a full stack here at the time when I was preparing for this battle, so we'll just shoot these lads down for the time being. The infantry are going to start coming in though, which means I think we need to go to all fire and all fire on the front unit, or maybe about the 4th unit. That's probably a much better idea. As you might well imagine, as they cross the bridge here, they're going to walk into all of the world's spears, very much ready for them in a U shape of doom. Yay! Chosen Axemen very much going down. If we just get the horse archers to continue shooting them, that would be grand. And that they're already very much dead over on that side. Oh look! They're running away and they're running through us. How beautiful. All infantry, please go onto guard before you start doing something stupid like running away from the centre of the battle. That would be very, very sensible indeed. Let's just shoot way back into the pile. Why are they getting in so stuck? I don't know. Let's shoot the lancers because they seem to be very much the ones in the problems. Almost every unit already routing by the time we get halfway across the bridge. In fact, it's pretty much just the one unit not routed at this point. Shoot that general at the back, whoever he is, Barbarian Noble Cav. Fine. Get on top of all... Well, we didn't even need to send these guys over the river and across the back. We've already won the battle as far as I can tell. Right, all missiles, ceasefire, and just pull out of there. Don't worry about shooting anyone. General, get chopping. Oh, this is just magnificent. They have been slaughtered. Well, there were a few kills by them. I guess some of my infantry at the front managed to die to the Axemen, but on the whole, an absolute massacre, and perhaps that will teach them to take us on. There were 2 more armies behind, though, so hopefully I don't have to do this battle 1,000 times before the end of the episode. As anticipated, I indeed do need to do it once again, so we'll slaughter them a couple times in the end turn here, and I'll probably try and grab a ceasefire. Normally if you absolutely slaughter them in the very first engagement of the war, if you just try and get a ceasefire the next turn, you can sometimes manage it, because normally it's just forever war, but certainly level 2 that works very well, sometimes on Rome. We'll see. Well, finally having arrived by the Berbers, it seems that they are ready for me. They probably have a terrible, terrible force. I mean, those are trash. This is entirely trash. This is also trash, and I suspect the city is as well. But nonetheless, I should probably show some mild caution. I will at least send a spy over to the city. It's a good place to start. Marvellous news. I do have a spy and assassin with each of these armies. Might as well have a little bit of a try, to be honest. I haven't trained these guys up, have I? So that's not really a good idea. Let's go. Yep, there we go. Start training them up, which is marvellous news. We will continue actually to send some spies around here just to make sure we know what's going on. Nothing too much of interest, to be honest. Yeah, have a little looky at him next time, and we'll try and assassinate someone else. Anyone else? Who can we try and kill? This guy. Have a little pop at that, Captain. You missed because you're useless. And this chap will have a go at the same lad over here. Actually, no, that's the town, Thomas. That's the town. And he also failed. However, I did notice over here some of the boats that I've been sending round from up in the Black Sea have arrived. And we might just about... Yes, we won a naval conflict. We just about had enough. Oh, how beautiful. We finally won. We won a battle at sea, ladies and gents. Now, there are obviously many, many more around. Reinforcements from the Black Sea are actually the fleet over there. This is the fleet that was in Ephesus. Nonetheless, we've managed to do a little bit of work over there. A few more boats being slowly gathered up. That's marvellous news. But yes, as for the Berbers, interesting one. See if they poke me first, and if they don't, I'll just attack them next turn. Oh yes, of course we have Ostrogoth as well, which is under siege from just some straggling set of forces. Exterminate population. Gonna wonder. Marvellous. All Egyptians will now be far more loyal. That probably means nothing on this, I imagine. Nonetheless, we're going to send these 2 lads out onwards to follow the main force, because we do need people to, you know, replace dead Oh yeah, there's this guy in the way. Okay, well they'll hang out here for a turn, but we need some people to follow them up just to make sure that we have extra generals dumping cities that need it, or replace those who die, you know, that kind of nonsense. Anyway, let's end our turn this time properly. The Berbers. Accept or we attack. Give Ostrogoth. Well, you lost it. Too bad. No. Are you going to attack? They're not even going to attack. They're going to threaten me, but they're not even going to do it. What a bunch of absolute pansies. Okay, well, let's go and stomp on the flowers then. In we go. You threat. Even against 3 armies, it thinks that I've got a great chance. We could night attack this, though. I do kind of like the idea of it. The Butcher, though, taking out the entire force by himself. That does sound hilarious. Go on, let's do it. Well, to start off with, we might as well take out a few of these units. The peasants went down pretty easily, as have the hillmen. Quite frankly, this frontal force is abysmal, and we're just picking them off one by one. As for the rest, well, there are some decent enough bits of cav for us to worry about with the Berbers, but we might as well pick up a couple of these guys while we have the opportunity at the beginning, but we'll just let them slowly tire themselves out as they walk towards us. We do, of course, have the elephants with us in this army, so that gives us a nice advantage when it comes to dealing with them eventually. I'm quite happy to get these guys slowly plodding back towards the lines, actually. We'll let them come to us. Well, at least you managed to draw some of the camels into an affair, because most of these aren't doing anything of interest at all. Just basically standing around. I'm going to get these guys shot. Hopefully that will pull them in a little bit. Watch raiders over there. We're going to swing around and talk to them instead. These guys going to join us? No, they're not. It's a bit disappointing, isn't it? Right, well, they're going to try and catch us. They might well do it, but hopefully be clever enough to avoid them. Rather than one big battle, this is just a load of stupid little skirmishes, and it's really starting to get on my nerves now. Just come here and die like the foolish Berbers you are. Right, they're now routing as well. Good. These mountain men are charging them. You should have... Come on. Come on. Get out of there. Fools. Right, well, as soon as one unit actually does arrive, we are able to wipe them out, which is very good news indeed. And some of those hillmen, those archers, are broken from the arrows, which is... That's unusual. Okay, some camels then coming in. You lads start shooting the next unit of desert archers that's arriving. Good. We are picking them off slowly, but they have a lot of desert archers, and they are kind of irritating because they are picking off my horses gradually. To be a little bit careful about all of this, especially as my guys are getting a little bit close right now. Go on to loose. There we are. See, we've got another unit. They are now charging their camels. No, get yourselves out of there. It's a really strange old affair, this. They're almost... I don't know, do I need to get rid of all their skirmish units before they actually bother to fight? I think we might finally be getting on top of the skirmish here, because income... Oh yes, income's a massive route for them. General is following up on this occasion, just to make sure that we clear out as many of them as possible. I do want to make sure that they don't start, counter-charging, but quite frankly, this is a spectacular mess from them. Well, one of the enemy armies is routing, but I'm not sure which. Don't really know what's happening in this battle at all. All I know is they keep on shuffling forward. I'm just going to send the elephants over in one direction at this point. Then we'll try and smash them from the side. So we'll remove the elephants from the unit, and the rest of us will just literally... I'm just going to shove my formation into them and hope that that does something, anything at this point. Mr. General, you can stand here for the time being. There we go. Those hillmen, do they want to engage with us? Right there in front of us. No, I guess we're going to do it this way. Elephant is now piling into a few of them. Okay, there we go. Elephants. Elephants doing some lovely work. Out they go. Routing ahoy. More routing. Oh, yeah. Oh, that entire flank is being annihilated by the elephants. That's what we want to see. Okay, our men seem to be ignoring our army endlessly. Just keep on shoving our army in their face until they learn to actually fight us. The elephants are just going to eat up anyone who doesn't want to anyone who wants to stand on the wing the whole time. Okay, let's just get my camels, horse archers and camels to go and deal with these guys. You go and deal with them because they're now behind us. We've kind of got them into flanking ourselves. These now running a mark, which isn't ideal. Oh look, they're already running. Okay, let's just rearrange the formation interface. And this army now. My elephants are, well, they're doing enough work. Honestly, I'm quite happy with them doing all of that. Cav. Get yourselves out to one flank now. Well, they're actually going to battle us. Look, there's a battle happening. There's actually some kind of engagement. Well done, Berbers. You learned how to actually engage. These mountain men are already routing, though. I mean, this is 3 whole armies at this point. It's absolutely ludicrous. There is, however, a cavalry charge in the flank, and they routed by charging into the back of archers. That is truly impressive, although a bit sad, because those were some of my very nicely experienced archers. Don't really like losing out with those chaps. Just a bit sad. Right, these guys are just going to cover them now. You guys run into them. That'll be nice. Good work indeed. And at this point, honestly, it's a bit of a mess, but I think we've largely won. At this point, as long as my archers are defended by 2 units like that, honestly, I'm quite happy just to send everyone else running off randomly into the sunset, because I have no idea what's happening. And what I know is we win every time we touch them. So let's just charge around madly and hopefully we'll be all right. Unfortunately, the elephants look like they've been killed, which is very, very sad indeed. But they've done a fun bit of work. I mean, we didn't get to charge it into big formation, sadly. But they did take out about 6 units on one flank, which was quite amusing. Their Desert Chieftain's actually been standing for more than 4 seconds, which is pretty staggering for one of their armies. At this point, don't know who you are, but you 3 units are now going to get on with it. Goats are good eating indeed. But I think at this point, my good friends, we're going to swing over there. And quite frankly, I don't even know what this battle is, but it's a victory. Well, it says 81% killed. We killed 2,000 and we lost about 300. Oh, Vedic the Butcher, your name is just perfect now. Quite frankly, I don't think this is actually work for the Butcher at this point. He can move on to the next army. Will they leave this for someone else to finish off? So you, my good sir, you can earn your spurs by going into that army. That is magnificent. My good lad Vedic, do you still have an assassin? You have an assassin, but you need a spy. Fine. You go plot off in this direction. Can't quite face him this turn, but we'll deal with him next time. He probably won't want to be fighting us anytime soon. My main plan to deal with the Burgundians was to make Campus Roxolani rebel, so we didn't have a border. Hilariously, they've now taken the next town instead. However, I can just send more spies over there, I suppose. Is it a happy town? It's not a very happy town indeed. So I think we'll just continue to send that. I've also got a scout unit running off just to see what I can find. But amusingly, yeah, let's just keep on sending these spies along. This one now is the plague as well, by the way. So we'll just go and plague all of their towns. It's going to be brilliant. Got more of them on their way, haven't I? Yes, indeed. More spies. We'll send them off in that direction. And we'll send one more, actually, off in this direction. If it would actually let me. There we go. So we'll just make sure they keep rebelling. That should hold them off. We finally have the opportunity to take out a few more ships. Now, there are only 8 of them, but they are 9 experience. So we are going to have to go with this. I have got a soothsayer, which I don't know how useful that is, but it might be somewhat useful. So we're going to go in and we're going to hopefully sink them. Oh, yes. Now the others are floating somewhere. Yes, over here in the Black Sea. They followed me into the Black Sea. Now I do have a fair amount of ships here at this point, as you may well be able to see. So we're just going to start sending all of our ships across. Absolutely marvellous. Don't want any sticking out of the port because then we get drowned by them, because they can still poke you and pull you in if you've got some ships left in the port. So be careful about that. But we've also got our lad over here going into the town. Got a few more watchtowers being laid down en route. Oh, it's just lovely. This guy is just mopping up Berbers. We did kind of take Lapsus Magna, but it's kind of a bit unhappy. May have tried to Christianise it a bit suddenly, to be honest. It's fine, we'll mop it up on the way out if we need to. Now, we are starting to come across a few more of their forces as we head towards Carthage. So we'll see what happens with all of that. But you can see up in the north here, our spies have been doing some marvellous work. This one we've just reached, it's now plagued. We've got this one plagued as well. This one's rebelled. This one not quite yet, but I'm hoping it's down to 45. So playing with the Burgundians, just going to hold them at bay. That is marvellous. But we do actually now have potentially the ability to send some fleets in this direction. I don't know if there are rebel fleets over here. I feel like they've been drawn towards me forever, but I think we might finally have the opportunity to finish them off. There are 2 full stacks over here, and I think they may be the last. Another big ship affair. Can we do it? We got a close victory this time, which is good. That's that other fleet destroyed. I think it's just this one left. Please, please, please let us be able to take them out. You head over there. You head over there. You... Oh, we can't quite match up with them. Okay, we're mostly safe at this point. Go and sink that little fleet. That's them gone as well. I think the seas are finally just about free, which is absolutely marvellous news. This guy, honestly, let's just leave them be as we head on westward. Got another army over here heading towards Demidi. Might as well take out the general whilst we're there. Got ourselves our other general, Ameneric, over here. He unquenched anger, but yes, he's going to look after the town here in the short term. Make sure we lop off this guy's head this time. Good news indeed. But it's probably time for Vedic the Cunning now. Interesting. To head on into Carthage. Still only on 4 command, which is unnecessarily brutal. Hesitant attacker. Oh, I must have said attack and then not done it at some point, which is rather irritating. That's a bit... it is sometimes a bit over the top with that. Like, sometimes you just want to check what the army is. You're not actually obviously going to attack. The game is quite harsh in that, considering the amount of attacking he has done. Kill it from necessity. Yes, it's worked out that it was necessary by this point. Poor farmer. Well, he hasn't done an awful lot of farming. He's done an awful lot of burning, to be honest. So, time to head into Carthage. They very much look like a terrible, terrible force, but it's a significant city. Let's go into battle. Let's watch this one properly. In fact, let's make it a night battle. We can hear the noise of battle commencing, and, well, these guys are going to be in a bit of a problem. Most of us should be okay. These are the 3 experienced lads. I did specifically send them to that spot, although I have actually kept back 4 of my infantry units for later, because I do want to make sure I have some fresh lads for the plaza. Always a sensible tactic, that one. You likewise go on to guard, and we'll just see what we can do. Now, we're going to win the left side of the wall, not so much that right side. If we win the right side, I'd be staggered and very, very impressed. Let's just go and grab the tower. That's going to cause them all sorts of hilarious problems. Come on, go and grab that, then we'll start shooting their own men. Oh, this is going to be spectacular. Come on, get over there now. Get over there now. Get over there now. Oh, yes. This is going to start spitting at their own men. That's what we want to see. Get on top of those hillmen. Try and support them. This side is a bit safer because we have extra units in the flanks. Are they getting shot down by their own towers now? I think they are. Oh yeah, they definitely are. This is going marvellously well. Swimmingly well indeed. 14% to 39. It should be the other way around at this point of the battle. It really, really should. And yeah, we're starting to pile through there. They're not trying to reinforce their tower at the moment, which is a strange strategy. Oh look, we've completely won over these towers as far as I can tell. Yeah, they're just getting absolutely slaughtered. Even on this side, have we won? Not quite, but we might as well go off guard now and go properly onto the offensive. Mountain men have actually decent stats. They're not the worst in the world when you look at the stats with good stamina. You think they might be good, but yeah, as we found in our Berber campaign, they are absolutely atrocious. So, oh well, you guys need to fight through them to come and support us over here. As for these lads, just stand up here and make sure that we've got this for ourselves at this point. They have done that job. They're going to run over here. We might as well try and grab these towers, actually. So, yeah, you get yourselves into that position. Hopefully, we'll shoot a couple more of them down. These lads finish chopping them up off the walls. The final Berber on the wall has gone, and we do have the general and some camels coming in, since the general perplexingly is still standing here at the entrance, so he's intimidated by the nearby enemy. Indeed he should be. They are camels. Smelly, smelly camels. I don't know, the smell is somewhat held back by the fact that we're wearing the armour. I'd like to think that we kind of rub camel smell onto the outside of the armour, just to be sure. The Duke is also heading into battle here, by the way. This he is getting on a bit, so perhaps, I don't know if he'll manage to go and join the Celtic armies or not. But certainly he can be the one to defeat the Berbers. Now, Desert Chieftain slowly being chopped down. Armoured camels. Yep, there he goes. Armoured camels were taking heavy losses there, but they seem to have done the job. Moorish raiders. They are literally only good. Yeah, only good for charging down already routing enemies. They are atrocious at everything else. Well, at this point we are pretty much ready just to stroll on in. Everyone get on into the city then. We've got 2 entry points. We've got some lads over on this side of the battlefield along with the horse archers, who might as well come on in and join the party. Archers are way at the back at the moment. Honestly, they're probably better off not getting involved, but they might as well run into that position. You, my good sirs, get into here. Get my camels over into the fray as well. That would be lovely. In fact, the general might as well pile. It's only a pile of peasants at this point. There's some Berber lancers who seem to have thrown themselves. Oh, they're long dead, aren't they? Yeah, they seem to have thrown themselves into the spearmen, and it's pretty much the last of the bodyguard at this point. So, yeah. All right, everyone over here, get into that position. In fact, all missiles should be off at this point. Just physically run in to close the trap. I'm not even sure there'll be time for the trap to be closed here. Pretty certain they're going to be murdered before we even arrive. Yeah, the general's already got here. And that's the end of the Berber capital. Carthage is ours. A thoroughly efficient victory, I must say, for what is a huge city, or is it maybe just large city walls actually. Nonetheless, a pretty efficient victory. Well, a big pile of money comes along with that, although they're not very happy with us. We'll build them a pub. That's always pleased most people along the way. We should also probably retrain some of these units. They're starting to look just a little bit decrepit at this point, so best make sure that we have all those retrained amply. There we go, and we'll just retrain some of those camels. Actually, we could do with a new unit, so let's just get some fresh infantry out. And with that, we have Carthage. Nothing too interesting by the looks of it. A few faction announcements. Have these? Did I just not read these before we started? I'm a bit confused why we have them now. Anyway, with Carthage taken, it's time to take on their last 2 cities, and I don't think the Berbers are going to be putting up much resistance. The day has come, ladies and gentlemen. The day has come where the Duke has passed away. Unfortunately, just clicked away in that message there. Not quite taking out the Berbers, but taking back, or taking Carthage. I don't think we ever took Carthage. I think we left it on the original way through. But I think he did a magnificent job. If we remember, he was the only man at Ostrogoth. The only man, as we left there, over to Salamis. He took that for us, swung over to the Duke, held it somehow with those 2 great sieges before launching into a brand new empire, all of the Middle East under his domain. He was a bit perplexed as to why he wasn't allowed to be a Horde anymore, but quite frankly, the Duke, well, he must be our greatest leader. He leaves Carthage upset, disillusioned upon his death, but much of his great work had already been achieved. And yes, we can see here that we do need to clear up some of these Berbers who are still yet to be defeated. But essentially, he did the back-breaking work here, didn't he? He took out the Sassanids, and he basically took out the Berbers as well. So we do have a new faction leader. I should probably, though, try and choose a new one. Actually, he's a bit confused, if I'm honest. So we've got this lad over here. He's a blatant adulterer, but a merciful judge, a destroyer, a famous victor, but he loves the Zoroastrians, and all sorts of very strange traits. So I'm going to pick someone who perhaps is, worthy of launching the final attack onto the Celts. Maybe one of these generals over here, because there are some good people doing some marvellous work in Africa. In the end, I did decide Yurick would be the best candidate for the job, not only because he's in the right place, but he does seem to have himself a good set of traits. Somehow he has more commands than Verduk ever did, in spite of all his victories, and he was once saved by a great hero on the battlefield, somewhere in North Africa, one of the random battles against one of the straggling Berber armies. So a famous warrior, galloper, oh yeah, and with bloody, he's got himself +3 to morale overall, which is magnificent. Rational beliefs, wife above reproach. Oh yeah, he's got himself some very nice traits indeed. And he also happens to be in the right place to send his army off into the distant lands of the Celts. On which note, we've only got, 4 more towns left to take. We need to take the Sahara region, which, I'll be honest, this is, I don't really know what the Berbers are doing. But what I'm probably going to do is click on auto-resolve at this point because, frankly, the Berber battles are tedious, quite frankly, and they are useless. So, as we chop down the last few of them, we will exterminate, and that is the Berbers destroyed, ladies and gents. Now, it's probably going to be a horrendous mess trying to tidy up all of this, but we might as well. They're rebels, they will at least die in one go. So that's something. Watch them fall to the floor, you non-Hordic fools. Okay, well, I'll mop up all of these at a later point. Let's not worry about that for now. This side is a very good general, but yeah, not much more than that. He's a bit boring compared. He doesn't have a lot of experience. I mean, a lot of these backup forces, what I tend to do when I mop things up is just charge the general in. Just get myself some experience. So that'll be one of those two. Picked up quite a lot of experience. Verduk had to be quite careful in the early days, albeit he wasn't afraid of charging in when he needed to. Swinthila over here, a decent candidate in some ways, but a bit of a gloomy man who does have a trusted steed to help him in battle. I do quite like him, but on the older side, and yeah, I think he wanted to live his life out on the islands. He's converted them to Christianity. Hopefully, they won't murder him in the short term. Carthage, miserable as ever. But our army is now here, ready from Carthage. This is Verduk's old forces. You can see some of the experienced lads, particularly the archers, who generally get a better chance to retrain and keep their chevrons than the infantry. Getting infantry up is a little bit tricky, of course. We did have 4 experience actually around about the time we took Cilicia, but that was a long time ago now. These troops have been retrained many a time since, and frankly, not many of them survived the old siege of Verduk. On the note of Verduk, by the way, only faction leader's son, Wamba, lives over here. He was he's the governor of Verduk, as it happens. Aryan thinker, Christian, frugal, careful money. Fortunately, an inferior engineer, not the worst thing in the world. He'll probably not really ever see battle, to be honest, but you know what? It's nice to know that his son has got some interesting traits. For an 18-year-old, he's got a fair few, so not the worst thing in the world. So we'll get him to build a nice stables just to make sure that he's doing something whilst he's in the town. Some of these are a bit unhappy, just making sure to do a bit of building when we have the opportunity. Particularly these basilicas, they are expensive, but we can just about afford them in some of these towns now. Oh yeah! The rebels just put us under siege. That's interesting. I'm not quite sure why they decided to do that. They do have some interesting units here, but a bit of a strange one. Let's have a night fight, clear victory. Thank you, rebels. It's unusual for them to actually bother assaulting, and the town's a bit unhappy about all of that. They obviously liked their rebel friends over there. Dislikes the pagan way as well. We are Christian. That does make some sense. Anyway, with the Berbers destroyed, then it's time to organise their armies for the great big march up to the Celts to finish them off. The only thing I'd like to do is try and grab some elephants, and honestly, if they don't appear, that would be annoying. I'll have to go and check in the files actually exactly which regions they appear in. I'm sure it was around here last time, but there's always the chance that we don't manage to catch them, sadly. That's the wrong menu, Thomas. Yeah, I'm not seeing any pop up at the moment, which is most unfortunate. Yes, this is the current faction leader, of course, isn't it? Let's not worry about the blatant adulterer over there. He is now, as you notice, 60. So by the time that we land in the Celtic territories, man over here, Yurick, will indeed be the faction leader. with the Empire thriving, then I think it's now time to move on from the Middle East and focus on the Celts, the final non-Horde faction for us left to kill. We've taken out the Sassanids and the Berbers here today, but I think this is where we should leave it, because I do think taking on the Celts will just take us a little bit longer than the amount of time we have left for today's episode. So whilst I did call this the finale at the start, it is indeed a finale of sorts, but to finish us off, we do need a little epilogue up in the British Isles. So we do have ourselves an army here. Yurick has himself, well, nearly full stack. Not quite sure why there isn't full stack, but there we are. We have Sassanid over here, also rather marvellous general for some reason, with 8 lads at the back there. Another decent army. We've got ourselves some agents coming along as well as a backup army. For some reason, not all of these are with the original forces. We'll organise those when we make landing. But we do have ourselves plenty of fleets. We have ourselves 2 half fleets at the back, full fleets here at the front, along with the admirals as well. So yeah, I think we're in a good position here to go and storm the Celtic lands of the north next time. So next time probably won't be like a full 50-hour long episode, maybe more like 40, 30, I don't know. We'll just see how much resistance they put up ultimately. So I hope you will join me for that. But for now, I will leave you. I'm Thomas, this is The Nerds to Human, and this has been an Ostrogoth, not so Horde Empire only. That didn't make any sense, did it? Anyway, tally-ho, and bye-bye. They're all queuing up to fight them. These are truly the British rebels right here. War cry and charge at the dogs of war. Oh, they're routing again. What are you doing, my silly trumpets? They're actually taking on my reinforcements. Welcome to the Rebel Experience, ladies and gents.